So, we've been back down the farm
We have.
and we've thought we'll go down and have a quick check over and have another walkabout, and we can then show you a bit more of what you didn't see on the last time you watched. So, we returned back down to find that the storm has been since our last visit and has caused quite a bit of extensive damage. So the challenge thickens, and we're going to take it on the chin and fix everything as we always do.
Yeah. And I promised that we'd show you around the inside of the house and the small barn. So there'll be some of the footage in the video about that as well. So thank you very much for joining us. And
So the path is blocked. Well, that's a little bit inconvenient. Yeah, the storms have been quite ferocious here in West Wales. And although this is a very sheltered part of the country, where we are right here, it clearly hasn't been able to escape some of those very high winds that we've had recently. We weren't able to drive down today, and you possibly see why that is up in the distance there. So there's quite a bit of damage in those recent storms, but hopefully a position that, well, we hope won't deteriorate any further before we're able to get here and do some work on reinstating this lane, because clearly we need it to be in travelable condition. Let's show you at the top where it's become a little bit more challenged. Just making our way up the lane, you can see that the water has been quite active around here recently and has pulled an awful lot of the lane up. We saw it in this condition when we first viewed the property, and know that it gets put back pretty quickly into the state that we're more used to seeing it in. But it does just help us to reinforce the list with regards what needs to be done first, with some drainage along the left-hand side of the screen at the moment being quite urgent. There's the stream. Very happily flowing down there. And here's the water from the fields above, quite happily joining that stream in between the trees that you see, which have fallen during the recent storms. Make my way underneath this lovely tree. See some more felled trees.
So, Storm Dara has ripped the roof off the cowshed. It's taken the sheets off and not taken all of the woodwork with it, but the woodwork will need repair, putting back in place, and then I can put the sheets back on top to give us some temporary cover. So when we're doing the pointing on the stone walls, it's not open to the elements. It'll probably still leak, but better to have drips than driving rain when you're busy. And the amount of water now on the land is increased because a lot of the culverts on the lane have been blocked and washed the road out, as you could see earlier. So it scattered the sheets far and wide. They haven't made it into another field or anything like our neighbouring properties. And you can see where the wind's just been peeling them off. And Steve seems to have stacked them all up in one corner conveniently, ready for me to put back on. So there's not a great deal of damage as such, really. It's just get back up, put the wood back in place and screw the sheets back down. And we'll be back to where we were then, I hope.
Today I did promise you that we'd have a closer look at the house, the stone-built house, and the barn that accompanies it alongside. So here's the front of the house, looking lovely and majestic, but somewhat forlorn. Up the steps that eventually will be into an area that we want to have so you can sit outside, and you'll see everything's pretty intact because the previous owner did a fantastic job on preserving as much of the building as they possibly could by putting the tin roof on that you see, and also employing a team of stonemasons to rebuild the walls and get them secure. And we shall be forever thankful that he had the foresight to do that. So inside, you'll see it isn't a massive house. It's looking like about 5.5 meters side to side that way, and L-shaped. So its most extreme length then would probably be about 18 meters. But first I thought you might like to see one of our feature items, which is, yeah, that's right, a tree stump that's currently inside the house. So our understanding is that this house was last inhabited about 60 years ago. So the tree is long dead. We've had the discussion about turning it into the bottom steps of the staircase, but Reese just laughed at me and said that's not happening, so I believe that that's not happening. But of course, you know, he could well be persuaded if there was some, you know, let's save the tree stump bottom step campaign, for example. Let me know your thoughts on that. So I just want to show you some of the repointed stonework that's been done. Really lovely quality, so very pleased by that. And this part of the house, it's really hard to tell if it ever had a significant fireplace in it. I mean, the structure that you see in front of you would tell me that there was some form of ingle-nook fireplace, possibly with an inbuilt bread oven, but we won't know that. So what it does give us is the advantage of being able to use our imaginations as we decide, well, what is it that we'd like to put there? And then we've got this additional stone. Our thoughts at the moment are that because the wall buckles out around this point, that possibly it was installed as some form of a buttress to keep the walls from spreading and therefore falling. Again, we've got plans for shoring up the whole of the building, hopefully be in a position to remove that internal buttress by having an external buttress to take that additional pressure, but this is all quite a long way down the line, because I think I shared with you last time that the plan is for us to work on the cowshed first. So I'll just take you out what will be the back door, where we can see that there's a stone wall that's constructed here. No idea if it ever had a purpose. I'm sure we can decide what that might be. I'm just struck by how peaceful it is just out here. fantastic. You can hear the stream in the background, I hope. Beautiful. And a significantly sized slab there in stone, which I'm quite sure we will find useful before too long. And some beautiful moss. Just the water filters its way through the rock. So peaceful. In a straight line. Back into the house through the back door, and the old chimney places, fireplaces. Don't think we'll be reinstating them, but we'll probably be using, rebuilding the chimney, and then reusing and putting some form of fireplace in this end of the building. So unfortunately, not many of the old windowsills remain, but this one is here and hopefully will be revitalised and take its place with pride in the future. Just lovely. Make my way up now to the cowshed. Sorry, the barn. The cowshed's the other building. And the weather has been quite challenging. You can see the paths had a bit of a battering as well, but nothing a few hours graft won't fix. So here's the small barn. Byre. You can see where it's been used previously to tame cattle. Again, really peaceful space in here. Into the bedrock, which will make for interesting rebuilding. There's not a great deal going on in here, but a lovely little space with absolutely millions and millions of potential uses. What could we do with this? What will we do to incorporate it into the rest of this fantastic plot that we've got? So just taking a look along this wall, Reese has already identified that it needs to be rebuilt, and so that is on the list of the bits that will need to be taken apart. Possibly have some elements of new stone to add into it, and then rebuild it in order to shore it up.
Sun coming, rays penetrate my skin. You sullied my heart, frozen and torn apart. I can't believe it's true, there's not a mark on you. You must be hurting somewhere. Somewhere. You can sing, you can sing, you can sing, but it's all a lie. 'Cause strange birds never fly. Moms, open up, and my head shakes. Enough's enough. When your sound fills the air, even when it's not you, I sense you there. I can't believe it's true, there's not a mark on you. You must be hurting somewhere. Somewhere. You can sing, you can sing, you can sing, but it's all a lie. 'Cause strange birds never fly.
So thank you for joining us this week and coming with us to take a look down the farm and at the carnage that we discovered on our return, and we hope to see you next time, and we hope we haven't been too boring. Thank you for joining us.